ethos.
Don't give up. Let me be an encouragement to you that you were given a vision, you have a goal, and you have it for a reason. And so if it's a big enough goal, if it's important enough to you, it's worth going through the tough times. This is the Next Simple Step podcast. I'm Paul Goldsmith. Life is hard and perseverance isn't easy. That's why it's called perseverance, because the original Latin word comes from the 1300s, to persist in the face of adversity. Of course, that's going to be challenging. I just want to remind you to reconnect with your why. Why did you want to pursue that goal in the first place? What's the real reason? And sometimes we don't even know ourselves, or we forget along the way. And it's helpful to reconnect with that original purpose, to go back and really ask yourself if that purpose still matters to you. And if it does, then it's worth pursuing. In our capitalistic society, everybody is trying to sell something. And so if you're not buying their idea or their product, they're going to tell you you're wrong and you ought to give up and follow their program. Here's the thing. You have agency and ownership of your dreams. It's helpful to think in terms of what's the next step? What can you do today to move one step closer? If we focus too much on the distance that we have to go to where we want to be, that's discouraging. As the Chinese proverb says, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. I've shared in the past my weird enjoyment of running marathons. You know what I think my favorite part is? The encouragement from other people along the way. Mostly strangers. It helps me power through the pain. I feel more energy and excitement and motivation with their encouragement. And so if you're stuck, I would encourage you to reach out to someone. Reach out to me. That's why I've set up a text line. You can text me at 559-574-3210. I would be honored to encourage you on whatever your goal is, to reconnect with your why, to keep moving forward because you're worth it. And this is where so much frustration and discouragement and criticism from others comes from. When people criticize, I think that comes from a sadness in their own life that they're not accomplishing their goals, and so they criticize someone else for their thing. I just think if we're honest with ourselves and decide that this is worth pursuing, so I'm going to take the next step today. And really, your number one job is to protect your own confidence and courage. And when you don't feel like you have courage, find someone to encourage you, to keep you going. In January, I was attending a retreat in the middle of Idaho. Beautiful, but it was brutally cold and snowing. Of course, it's January in Idaho. I was driving up a mountain road and I got about 5 miles from this retreat where I was meeting up with some friends. I had a little rental car, and that was a huge mistake because the tires in this rental car had no traction. I'd done pretty well so far on the major highways, but on this mountain road that had not been plowed and it was continually accumulating snow, I got about a couple hundred feet or so from the top of the mountain, and the car just wouldn't go any further. I realized that I had a couple options. I could turn around and head back to the airport, or I could call my friends and have them help me get up the rest of the hill. And so that's what I did. And when my friends got there, it just took a few guys to literally push the car to the top of the hill, and I was off and made it to my destination. I thought that's a great analogy that sometimes we're going to get stuck. There's just no way up. We can't go any further on our own. I believe we were all made for community, and we shouldn't feel shame or guilt or badly about asking for help. People like to offer help. It makes them feel valuable, particularly if it's an area that they have some experience in. There's also the law of reciprocity. So when you offer someone else help, they feel obligated to offer you help if you ask them. So I think that that's the way the world works. And if you can be an encouragement to someone else, if someone has shared a goal with you, reach out and tell them you've noticed and check in with them. Ask them how it's going. And if you see fruits of their labor, encourage them. Tell them that you see them and you notice the effort they're putting in. That will help them immensely. Specific feedback is always encouraging. I heard one time there's a developmental psychologist, Eric Erickson, and he said, in your 20s, your job is to experiment. So if you're in your 20s, have fun, figure stuff out. You're not supposed to be awesome at everything. In your 30s, you find your life. In your 40s, you build your life. And in your 50s, enjoy your life. As someone who just turned 40, I don't want to wait until I turn 50 to begin enjoying my life. I thought about that and I thought, we don't have to wait until we're 50 or 60 to enjoy our lives or 65 to retire. In fact, what if we could live a life now that we didn't want to retire from? What are we waiting for? Don't wait to start living your values, your goals, your dreams. If you're stuck and you need some encouragement, you need some specific feedback, let me know. I would love to encourage you. You can reach out Instagram or Twitter, Paul J. Goldsmith, or text me 559-574-3210. I'll talk to you next time on the Next Simple Step podcast. Have a great day.